So I think I want to start with firstly thanking you for just giving the time today to share, your experience. And then I think the first thing is, could you share, I suppose, your specific situation where you were when we started working together?
Yes, so I mean, I'll share very honestly and very openly. So I actually met you last year, properly through Launchpad. I started attending your masterminds, and there was like I would say that, I mean, how to explain it is that, it's like the gold is there in the air, but like your radio is not tuned to it, so you kind of don't catch it. So
Yeah.
it's like I attended like a quantum manifestation workshop that you did and your masterminds. And then, you were also getting this sense because you shared with me that I feel like I need to work with you, and you're getting that sense. And, I was like, I feel that too. I'm not sure if I'm ready. Like I had a lot of doubt and wasn't sure. And then, I had my own scarcity stories around money. Like, should I invest in this or not? And then why I came to you at the beginning of this year. And again, I have to be honest, if you hadn't given me the nudge, I again would have been like dilly-dallying. But I am so grateful you gave me that nudge, and I accepted. And I this time, like, my radio was on and I heard you, and the frequency matched.
Yes.
Because like my thinking was that I'm coming to you to work on nutrition. I
Yeah.
was like, I can feel my body is just feeling heavy and I feel very low on energy and it's just not aligned. And I thought that's what the work I'm going to do with you is on. And we did do that work. We worked on nutrition. We worked on like different elements of movement and just how to add more energy to my life. And
Yeah.
I think the big thing, just to talk about the nutrition piece, is that when I went for the health screening and I found out I had very low iron levels, which
Yeah.
was leading to feeling exhausted and depleted and like some brain fog. So like just having that figured out and
Yes.
then doing the remedial measures for that like brought about so much change. But I think it was just being in your energy, and you're right. Like it may sound a bit woo woo, but it's like just committing to the program made
Yeah.
me like really listen to my body, because I know that I committed to your program, and the next day I was next to meat. And I had given up meat for like 5 years for ethical, environmental reasons. But I was next to it, and like, because in my family, they're still eating it. And I was like, no, my body really needs this. Like I felt it, like I heard it, I had the thought, and I like listened to myself. Like I was just like committing to the program got me more aligned to really where I was supposed to be and what was true for me. So like that was a big change, like just removing, like now my diet is more like, chicken and fish and vegetables, healthy fats. Like I've cut down on the rice, I've cut down on the wheat, the dairy is gone. So because I had an allergy, and just like that itself is such a huge shift to how I feel. Like I feel lighter, I am lighter, I have more energy. So
Good.
that itself was like a huge shift. But then, I mean, Alika, that it didn't just stay on the nutrition level, right? Like for me, you were able to help me to make a decision which was taking up so much of my time and energy. And I wasn't able to prioritize myself or what I wanted in life because I had given my energy to something that really engulfed me, like took up everything from me.
Yeah.
And before I met you, I was like, there's no way I can give this up, there's no way I can let go. But you really helped me to make that huge decision. And in the span of our coaching, like from, oh no, this will never happen, it happened, and it's like I'm now in that space where like that thing is gone. I have a lot more time and energy to focus on what I really want to do in my life and think about it, like, and what I want to share is like, is that, this is not a magic pill, like people shouldn't come thinking that all your problems will be sorted in 3 months. I think that's the mistake people do, where they are like, they come with these like unreasonable expectations. But I think like for me, having that nutrition shift, you know, having that thing that was like really bogging me down and removed from my life, and then making time, like right now where I'm like making time to think about what do I want to do in my life, you know, what is my purpose, you know, what are my gifts? And that's something you helped with as well through the human design work.
Yeah.
So the human design element of the work really helped to like figure out like, these are my strengths, you know, how I should make decisions, you know, what is it that I'm meant to share with the world? And that's a huge piece as well. So for me, you know, I've shared this with you, 𝐬𝐿𝐼𝐵, but I think like I've been with other coaches, but you're the one with whom I've seen like the fastest shifts, the most significant shifts. Yeah, I mean, I feel like everybody should go to 𝐬𝐿𝐼𝐵. Yeah.
Thank you, Megha. And one thing I will say, because, you know, I've been coaching for a long time now, and the truth is you have to be coachable. So I always have a coach myself, because I'm biased to the process of, oh my gosh, if someone can go from here to here and someone doesn't see this thing that's really holding them back, imagine what I don't see. So people that go through the process and have good experience, they know, oh my God, this is a really crucial part of my development. But equally, you are very coachable, and I think that really helps me to take you through that process. And you know, I've got my own roadmap, obviously the 4-step process, and as we go through nutrition to movement, and as we work through purpose and relationships and your mind, I think the purpose bit was a big barrier for you, because that was one of the bits that was taking a lot of your energy. But I think it's really important also that what I loved with you was that, you know, you remind me of a lot of people that come into the process and you think that it's about one thing, for example, nutrition, diet, my body, but actually there's a part of your life, and for you it was around purpose and just having crystalline clarity of what you're supposed to be doing and how you're supposed to be doing, and knowing that anything that's not like that doesn't have to be bad, it's just not aligned for you in this moment of your life. I think because you really committed to that human design process that we went through, you were able to have that those shifts and able to pick up those habits that you're going to need for that next stage. So I love that. So what would you say to somebody then that, let's say somebody was where you were at the beginning when you started working with me, what would you say to them?
Before I answer that, I also want to share, oh, wait, I need to remove my filter a bit. But you know, it's I feel it's also like the you know, process is about the sorry, give me one moment. Here you go. So I think it's like a lot of seeds you've planted as well. So it's like I haven't finished the book, but you know, just the idea of quantum leaps and quantum manifestation, and you know, like really changing your mind, like this book like that you recommended, and I'd heard of Joe Dispenza but like never read his work or like actually seen his work. Like, you know, this is now something that I'm diving deep into to understand more and like learning, you know. So it's like the coaching may be officially over, but you know, I'm just carrying on with the learning. And then the seeds that have been planted and just seeing where they take me.
Yeah, but this is important that you're raising, because for me, it's really important to make sure that people know the science of what I'm saying, because especially if I say, okay, I'm focusing on getting you more energy. Energy is a word now that has so many different nuances to it. It can feel a bit woo for people that don't understand it and all of that. And so for me, the studying quantum physics, and it's funny because I studied quantum physics years ago and I just never thought I would use it. You know, I used to be married to a rocket scientist, so I never thought that I would, all the physics, all the stuff that I was learning, I didn't know that I was going to use it in this capacity. So it's brilliant for me to bring in the science for people that also have that ability to research and go off and explore the nuances that they need for themselves. So yeah, I love that work, and it's good that you've got that. So yeah, so we were talking about somebody that might be where you were at the beginning. What would you say to speak to them?
So I would say that if you know, 𝐬𝐿𝐼𝐵 has come into your life, then you have to take it as a gift and a blessing. And sometimes you have to go with faith, you know, and trust that, you know, like this will work. Because for me also, like, you know, initially there was a lot of like trusting, like, as someone who's very like, rational and logical, and does this make sense, and is A equal to B? Like for me, Alika's process was initially just about like trusting her and trusting that it will work, and having that faith initially. And then of course, once you see the results, right, then it's not about trust and faith. It's like you have proof. Like the results themselves are the proof. But till you get that proof, right, I would say just have a little bit of trust in the process, and like faith in Alika. Like, this was the thing that I had. And I think the point that you mentioned earlier about being coachable, I think that really is important. Like, you need to have an open mind. You need to try. And after trying, if it doesn't work, you just let it go. I mean, there is nothing that you need to hold on. But the important thing is to try and experiment and just see, I'm going to give it a chance, basically.
Beautiful. And so if I ever have any barriers, I would say that for the barrier that I see the most is usually time and money. Okay. So if somebody was thinking, oh, I'm not sure if I have the time or money to make this type of investment, what would you say to them about that particular concern?
So I think in terms of time, right, I thought it was very efficient, because like the program itself is like one-on-one calls with you, and it can be virtual, it can be an in-person meeting. Like you worked with, like, there's a lot of availability in your calendar. So, it can work with people. It's not like a rigid thing. It has to be a Friday at 12 or something like that. And then the group Tuesday evening, the group sessions, they are at also a reasonable time. It's after work. So I think time is something ideally you shouldn't worry about, because it works for like full-time working professionals. It works for founders. I think in terms of money, right, I feel like make the investment. Think of it as an investment, right? Like that's the important thing that I have learned in my journey of coaching. Like the most important asset in my business is me. And so this is where the investment needs to go. So the work, the money that I put in the program, I see it as an investment in myself and my business. And then, and I think money, like that is one of the things that working like with you will do. The whole idea of having that abundance mindset around money, you teach that, right? Like there's money all around. There are lots of ways to make money, so not to have that mindset about like, oh, there's limited money. So I think if like, again, like if you have those like, those limiting beliefs around time and money, you definitely need to work with Alika so that you can get over those limiting beliefs.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you so much. And I know one of the things that I've loved the most about working with you is that you've really been open to how the mind makes decisions, and how that's part of why you get stuck with making a decision is how you make decisions is not right. So yeah, that's been beautiful work to work together. Well, listen, I'm going to wrap that up now and just say thank you so much. I really appreciate you giving that feedback, and it really just helps me in terms of thinking about the leaders that I want to lead of the future. I just kind of really know what's missing, what are the pieces that I really want to support them with. I know that there's some things that they need to shift within themselves and where they need to be. And so I think I just really want to hear from people like you that are the vision of what I see. So I speak to the person that might be sat here on the fence and wondering whether they want to make that investment in themselves. And I speak to the words that you said about making an investment in yourself is the best decision you can make. And, for me, as a person that's really focused on energy, your energy pays for itself. Like investing in your energy is what gives you the opportunity to bring in more energy, and money is energy, relationships are energy, new work is energy. So yes. So thank you so much again, Megha. And I will speak to you very soon.
Thank you, Alika. I can't wait to meet you in person. Have the best time in Italy and Crete. Bye-bye.
Take care, babe.